I guess the the obvious question for this one is, in your perspective, in your opinion, is leadership trained or inherited, or is it inside of your DNA? Can you train somebody to be a leader, or it have to be born with it?
Well, look, I think that at the extremes, you probably can't. Meaning that there are some people who just are, I don't know if they're uncoachable is the right word, but they're just not going to get there, right? They're not, meaning it'll be too much of a lift for them to get from where they are to where they need to be. Most people who are not on the tail ends, of course, it's coachable. No, there's nobody who's born a natural leader. You pick it up from your environment, from your parents, from the friends that you're exposed to, from secure attachment in your home life. And later on, if you haven't had those things, you learn them.
Yeah, and that's what I was just gonna say with when people say, "Oh, I don't know why I'm here," kind of a comment to you. I'm thinking like maybe leadership, either it's not in them, or they don't refuse to be trained on it, or they're not feeling comfortable with it, or they're in a situation where they just drifted into it. I know, like I've had these conversations in sales. I asked some of the salespeople, like, how did you get into it? And sometimes, like, I'll be interviewing people in sales, say, my boss thought I'm an outgoing person. Listen to this keyword. I'm an outgoing person, and they happen to be an engineer or something. And he thought, I'll be good in sales.
Yeah.
So they drift into a job that they probably didn't think about it.
Yeah. It really is. It's about understanding that anybody can achieve anything with the right amount of um, willpower and the right amount of effort. Nothing is beyond. It just depends on what you want for yourself.
Yeah, like there's things in life can be done with purpose. I feel, career specifically, and or it could be a result of a luck somehow. I mean, it's like the old adage that says effort plus luck equals success. Um, but you need to have something on the go here. It cannot be all luck. All luck sometimes just it gets to a point where people ran out of luck, I guess, and the true self it shows. And that's what you're teaching them to avoid, right? To learn a new skill, to be better at what they're communicating, etc. So, what are the, in your opinion, like from the patterns that you've seen through the leaderships and the founders that you talked to, what are the most crucial conversation that they want you to address? I mean, you mentioned investment, but are they, job, for instance, promotions, etc.? Is there anything else?
I think people want to understand how to get people behind their ideas. They want to know how to be persuasive, whether that's in a board meeting or it's getting colleagues to back down on a particular initiative. That's a big one. They also want to understand how to get people that are underneath them in the hierarchy to do what they say, right? And this is what
Yeah,
I mean.
yeah.
How do I just get them to do what I say? Well, okay, maybe that approach is not the right one. Okay, but they want to understand how to get results from their speech. I think people are very used to talking and not being listened to, not being understood, where their instructions aren't followed, and they're desperate for their voice to make a difference.
That's right. Now, we're just coming near the end here. I just want to leave the listeners with a couple of key takeaways. Those listeners that they are not in a position to reach out to you, or for some reason have not yet reached out to you, or maybe they use the takeaways to reach out to you. So there's three different options for people here. So, what are the two or three simple practices that they can do, an audience listening to this podcast can do to start their week next week or now, I guess, to improve how they communicate under pressure? Maybe like two or three takeaways if you can give them that.
Okay, number one is to download an app called State Shift. Okay, it's a breathwork app, and I would say create a breathwork practice. If there was any button or anything close to a button you could press in your body to calm down, it would be your breath. So I would say the first takeaway is take breath work seriously. I would say number two is to drop your agendas. Communicating openly and honestly with the people that you're talking to is an unlock that I think most people haven't explored and is tremendous, right? Just come in openly and honestly, talk about what you want to talk about, connect, be curious of the other person. And the third thing I would say in order to be an effective communicator is understand why you're talking. So one of the things that I ask my executives before we get into an engagement is, why are you speaking? What is your aim? Are you there to inspire, enlighten, encourage action, persuade? What are you trying to do? Once you have that goal very clear in your mind, you need to censor yourself. Anything that you're going to say that falls outside the purview of that goal, it doesn't serve that purpose in an immediate way, don't say it. And I think those three things are probably a good place to start.